Good morning, everyone. I know it's early, but I'm about to start preparing dinner. I'm going to be making homemade chicken Alfredo. Well, Cajun chicken Alfredo because I like Cajun flavor. I'm getting everything together. I know that the camera is sideways, but it's the only way I can put it right now. Getting everything prepared. So I may go in and out of the camera view. But I decided I wanted to do all of this now so I don't have to do it later. My back is hurting me, and also my hand is giving me problems. I'll go to physical therapy tomorrow. And everybody knows that you can't have Alfredo without the sauce. I like making everything from scratch. Right now I'm putting all my cheeses together, since it's all going to be combined in the pot when I make my sauce anyway. Which is Parmesan and mozzarella. I did want to put smoked Gouda because I love that smoky taste, but they didn't have any when my husband went to the store for me yesterday. So I have to do without it, but that's okay because I got smoked paprika. And for those who does not use smoked paprika, trust me, you guys always using that regular paprika. Smoked paprika is where it's at. Trust me. Smoked paprika is where it's at. My back is really hurting today. I really hope they get me in. Rosemary, Cajun, basil. I'm getting all my seasonings together. I don't know how long this is going to film for you. Might have to do it in segments if it stops at a certain time. I gotta be careful because I can hardly lift anything with this bad hand. Put a little oil in my pan. I don't want it to get too hot right away, so I'm gonna put that right there. water. Literally, I can only use 3 fingers because I got injury to my hand due to the accident that I was in, and then my back as well. Usually I put chicken broth instead of water to make my pasta, but I don't have any, although I am going to be putting some garlic powder in the water so that my noodles, my fettuccine noodles, have a garlic taste. Yeah, it gives it a good little garlicky flavor. I'm about to season my cheese. You guys see my cheese? That's my cheese. I'm putting my little cajun. This is Slap Your Mama. I love Slap Your Mama. And then, of course, Tony Saturates. Yep. I like seasoning my cheese, so that way when I get started, I don't have to stop stirring, just to add. A little seasonings get a little strong. I really love cooking because it's my therapy for me mentally and emotionally. And for the past few weeks, I've really been down. But nothing makes me happier than to see when my husband comes home and he has a good cooked meal. And look, like I said, my smoked paprika. You know what? Outside of my garlic and onion powder, my main favorites are, I'm putting some basil. Like I said, because one thing about cooking is that and I'm putting some rosemary. One thing about cooking is you can do any and everything. It really is an art to cooking. And everything I do, I don't use a cookbook. My Cajun seasoning. I don't use a cookbook. I make everything a little adobo. I make everything from scratch. And the reason is because sometimes different flavors just call to me. And I'm going to mix up the seasoning inside the cheese. I'm going to put my buddy splint back on because my hand is really bothering me, my fingers. And I don't want to mess my fingers up. But worse than what they already are. Okay. Got the cheese going right there. And I've got my stove on for my water and my grease. Now, I don't know how a lot of people like to do their chicken, but I like to wear my gloves dealing with meat, any meat, and I like to use my scissors to cut up my meat, because it's quicker, and then I can cut it in the way that I want it cut. My scissors. Can't forget the butter. Okay. I'm getting ready to wash this chicken breast off. Okay. I just washed the chicken breast off. And what I'll do is I'll end up making my dishwater, and I'll put bleach in it because I like to make sure that I keep the germs and stuff down. Okay, let's start cutting. And it depends on how big you like your chicken pieces. I don't like my chicken pieces too big. But I do like it enough to where you are able to get a chunk of chicken in every bite. Yeah. A lot of people like using thighs. I do. I have some thighs in the freezer, but I don't know. I'm a breast girl more than anything. Like, I'll use my thighs when I'm making gumbo, or decide I want to make chicken chili or something. But for the most part, I like my breast. What are you guys going to be cooking? I would have put this on live, but it's early in the morning and I didn't expect anyone to be on. So I'm just pre-recording this as I do everything. It's been a long time since I've done a live. I smell my grease getting hot. I'm going to move it so that it won't be too hot by the time I use it. Because it's going to take a minute before I get this chicken in there. Everybody has their own way of like how they want to do stuff. And like I said, for me, or why they like to do what they do, for me, my cooking is therapy. Funny thing is when I was younger, I didn't like to eat my own cooking. Now that I'm older and I know how to make the perfect seasoning marriage, meaning I know how to season things, make things taste good with whatever I decide to use or however I decide to make it, I crave my own cooking. Sometimes I critique other people's cooking. My husband does it a lot. He's like, it's not yours. It's okay, but it's not yours. I think he does that just because I'm his wife. But as I said, I love cooking. It's for my therapy. Been through a lot in my life. Not that, no one else has, but this is just one of the ways I cope with past issues and present issues, when they arise. But drinking and smoking and drugs just has never been one of the things that I've wanted to do when I'm having a life crisis. So that's why I laugh when they do their little surveys and they say, well, if you come from a family of alcoholics or drug addicts, you know, you're gonna be high statistic for being the same way. And I'm like, bull crap, bull crap, bull crap, bull crap. You know, I've been around that type of stuff all my life, and not one time have I decided, oh, let me take that route. And neither did my brother. So I just like when people think they know everything, and they don't. Now, if cooking is a drug and an addiction, I am guilty as charged. I am guilty as charged. And the thing is I just don't cook comfort foods and soul foods. I cook authentic Asian. I cook authentic Mexican. Sometimes I cook German, authentic German. It's crazy because, like I said, everything has always been self-taught. Nobody's recipe book. Nobody's, what is that thing they got? What is that? Pin interest. None of that. It all comes from my brain. You know, because sometimes you can eat a dish, and I don't know, for people that like to cook like I do, you can tell what's all in the dish. Some people eat the food just to eat the food, and they inhale it so fast they don't think about what's in the dish. But a cook thinks about what's in the dish. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay. So they got that little oregano in there. They got fennel seeds. You know, it's crazy because most people that cook or barely cook, they have the basic garlic, onion powder, Lowry seasoning, salt, you know, just the basics, salt and pepper. But when you love to cook, you have cardamom, you have tartar, you have different basils, you have different, you know, you have fennel, you have rosemary, you have every herb and spice that you could think of, because it's one of those things, like I said, you just think about the flavor that you want to taste and you bring it to life. You bring it to life. Sometimes I could go to sleep and I kid you not, in my subconscious, I start dreaming of different flavors or a different meal or how I want the meal to taste. And I'll get up and I'll just go in the kitchen and I make it happen. It's the craziest thing. It's a good thing, but it's the craziest thing. It's like, wow, I really was. Now, okay, guys, I have my chicken cut up. And for this part, I'm going to take these gloves off and put more gloves on because I don't like touching my seasonings or anything with gloves, or, well, you know, with gloves that I've put the meat on. So I'm seasoning my meats. And like I said, I'm going to be, I can put this back on the stove now, because I'm about to take it and put it over there. It's a beautiful marriage, a good melody. It just one of those things. Well, it's time for me to get some more Cajun seasonings. But I'll use the little bit that I have. Y'all hear that? That's letting you know I'm out. And like I said, I love my smoked paprika. I'm about to start sneezing though. Oh, bless me. And then I'm going to add, like I said, rosemary, basil, oregano, a little pepper. And instead of me using my hands to mix this up, I'm going to use my tongs. And then I'm going to make me some dishwater. Add bleach to it. Okay. Look, guys. This is my meat. You hear that sizzle? Okay, now I'm getting ready to make my dishwater. Can't make dishwater without this. You can't eat at everybody's house because everybody's not clean. You ever seen those people that make videos and their house and everything be so nasty in the background? And they be on there trying to be cute. And I'm like, girl, you need to be doing something to your house. And I'm washing my tongs again because I don't know, it's a habit. I don't like putting raw meat on my cooked meat. Or utensils. Utensils I use for raw meat, I don't like putting them on my cooked product. It's okay when you start out using it so that you can turn the meat and everything, but once the meat is done, to me that's a no-no. So really I end up washing it 3 times because I know I just used them to put the meat in the pan. But now I'm going to have to, turn the meat. So that's what I do. And I also have a habit of I clean as I cook. I cannot stand to sit down and knowing that my kitchen is not where I need it to be. I just can't do that. Let me get you guys a closer look. Okay. This is the meat cooking. I already put everything in there that needs to be put in there. Let it cook its little butt off. I might end up cutting some more of the meat down. But by the time I finish cooking, what usually happens anyway is that it actually ends up falling apart. So I'm going to let that continue cooking. I'm going to put the phone down. I got to get a saucer. Okay. Sorry about the noise. And my other little pot. I'm getting ready to make my sauce. I wish I had my husband here. I'm gonna see if I can keep that right there, like that, so you guys can see it. Let's see if this will work. All y'all see is my little fat stomach. I need you to see the pot. I need you to see the pot. Okay. I'm getting ready to start making the Alfredo sauce. Heavy cream. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I started to get 2 things of heavy cream, but I figured I had enough. I'm going to add a little bit of this 2% milk. Just a little bit, not too much. Oh, stuff's jumping out the refrigerator at me. Okay. Here we go. Some garlic powder. Gotta have that garlic powder. Onion powder. And of course, you know, like I said, I seasoned my cheese already. So I may not need to put too much in there. Just enough. A little black pepper. Just enough. A little bit of parsley. See my parsley? Gotta open it up. I usually use fresh stuff, but let me turn this light on. I usually use fresh stuff, but lately, seems like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not feeling my greatest right now, dealing with the situation that I have going on, but I usually cook every single day, but for some reason the stuff I cook, some of it, putting some parsley in there. Some of the stuff that I cook doesn't necessarily need fresh herbs, so it ended up expiring on me. Put me some butter in there. Some more fat for this fat girl. And like I said, I already have my cheese seasoned. Look at there. And I'm going to stir this nice and slow. How it turns out, nobody knows. I'm sorry if this video is real long, guys. I just didn't want to go on live. And then, like I said, I know a lot of people aren't up right now. Well, they may be, but they're probably at work. So, just fettuccine. And believe it or not, I know how to make all of that too. I just don't have the equipment to do it, but I can do it old-fashioned, rolling it out and using my hands and cutting it, but it's not the same as when you have a machine to press it and cut it. Add more cheese. Ooh, bless me. I'm sneezing. Ooh. All this pepper and all this Cajun spices is what's doing it, because I didn't even start sneezing until I added all that. Let me show you what it's looking like. This is what it's looking like right now. And you just stir and stir and stir and stir. Cooking, you have to have a lot of patience. You have to have a lot of patience. A lot of people, they don't have the patience to cook. Or they like, I can't do that. It's not going to turn out right. But it's all in how your mental is set up, I guess. I just know we spend a lot of money as consumers buying food out all the time. And it never tastes the way we want it to taste or how we feel it should taste. So yeah, it's best to get your own stuff and make it yourself. Then you get more than your money's worth. And you can season it to whatever taste you feel like you want to taste. I don't think I need to add any more cheese. I'm just going to continue stirring this one. And I'll just put the other cheese in a bag. Or I may top the Alfredo, chicken Alfredo with it. A little bit of it as garnishment. Whew. My back is really hurting. It is killing me. It is killing me. When my grandmother May was alive, I used to cook and take her plates when I lived in Lexington before I moved away years ago and before she died. And she said to me, "Baby, you done surpassed me." I said, I don't know about y'all, but honey, can't nobody cook better than Grandma. I'm sorry. Not even me. But it was such a high compliment that it made me feel so good. Like, okay, I'm not perfect. I don't do everything right. But to hear my grandmother tell me that, yes, I was smitten. I was smitten. So now, every time I cook, I'm like, I want people to enjoy what they're eating. I want them to love what they're eating, want more of it, be inspired. I don't know if I want to fix the whole box of fettuccine. I don't think I need to. Yeah, might as well. Might as well. Slowly but surely. I started to get some Asiago too. And some provolone. I should have. Usually I do. I'm so hot right now, you guys. I'm sweating. Look there. Just gotta keep stirring until it's nice and creamy. Look at that. That's the thing about using fresh cheese. You got to have the patience to let it cook and melt. And I'm sure it's like that because of that mozzarella too, because mozzarella is really hard sometimes to get it to melt to where it needs to be. I'm sorry if this video is too long for you guys to watch. You can always fast forward it. Or what I could do is I could cut the video now and then come back once the product is ready and show you guys the finished product. Would you like that? My back is spasming. Chicken's doing well. Chicken's doing well. Chicken's doing well. Fettuccine's cooking. Look at there. You know that's because of that mozzarella. But it'll melt. It will melt. It just takes time because it's got to be a certain degree. And you can put, if you want like a thicker consistency, you can put like a tablespoon or two of cornstarch, and it thickens it up for you. Which that's probably what I'll end up doing. Don't want to put too much though. You don't want it to coagulate on you and it be all jammed up on you. You want it to be loose and flowy. Unlike some places. Like, I don't like Olive Garden. Olive Garden stuff is greasy. I don't like a lot of, nope. You know what? When I was little, my mother, she can't cook. All the women in the family can cook, but she cannot cook, even to this day. And I didn't like roast because I thought it was supposed to be hard and dried out. I didn't like her spaghetti because she had a ton of grease floating on the top of it, which is probably why I always use turkey burger and everything now. I mean, yeah, before I started using turkey burger, I knew to, you know, drain my grease or what have you from my spaghetti. And I didn't have that problem that she had. But turkey just tastes better. But I tell you, some people, cooking is not for them. She made some biscuits one time, y'all. And I swear to you, the little sparrows, it was cold outside. The little sparrows' beak got caught in the biscuit. I was rolling. Well, we all was rolling. She was crying because she felt so bad for the little bird. But I tell you, cooking missed her. She's good at everything else, but cooking wasn't one of them. We're alive, though. We're alive, me and my brother. Oh. And there was a time where I had a friend I grew up with next door to, because I grew up in the projects. And Karen, Canada, if you watch this video, you can hear me talking about it. Me and her, was the kitchen window was up, and my brother and I was supposed to be eating. And I kept throwing food out the window at her, and she threw it back. And when she threw the corn on the cob back, she threw it back so hard that it hit my mama in the living room. Whew, those were the days. Those were the days. Oh, Lordy. But, yeah, cooking's not for everybody. And like I said, see, this is my cornstarch. And I'm going to put a tablespoon or two in the water. Oh, in my sauce. So it can thicken up a little bit. And really, all it takes is just you mixing this with a little cold water, 2 tablespoons or a tablespoon. It just depends on you. And you stir it up until it's smooth. It gets a smooth consistency. Use cold water, though. You can't use hot water. You gotta use cold water. I love my Argo cornstarch. I don't use any other cornstarch. I grew up on that. My grandmother, as I said, one of the best cooks I've ever known. My granny. I'm staring at this fettuccine. Fettuccine. Okay, now, you just slowly stir it in there. And trust me, it doesn't take a lot. It seemed like it would be because of those hot lines, but it doesn't take a lot. It does not take a lot. My great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mom's mom, and my grandmother that my mom's mom was with, that helped to raise us. Trust me, we couldn't wait for the holidays and stuff to come by because we knew we was going to be eating real good. And my grandmother, my mother's mother, I can't make lasagna in comparison to hers, which I can make it. But trust me, my grandmother, she used to make a lasagna that'll make you slap your mama. And your mama's mama and everybody else's mama. I'm telling you. See how it's starting to thicken up now? Like I said, it doesn't take much. It does not take much. And you do not want it to coagulate. This is what it's looking like. This is what it's looking like now. And like I told you, the mozzarella cheese was going to melt. It just takes time and patience. And if you go a little too thick, it doesn't hurt to add a little bit more milk to it, which, oh gosh, that's what I'm about to do, because I don't want it to be too thick. I like it to be in between consistency because I don't know. I don't like my food to be stiff. I don't want it to run off my plate either. It's gotta have a really good balance. Really good balance. And as you can see, it's been 45 minutes so far to prepare this from start to finish, from scratch. So it doesn't take a lot of time. It seems like it would, but it doesn't. Unless to you that's still too long. Because you want that quick 15 minutes. Now I'm about to pour this over in the chicken because, or I may put the chicken, well, yeah, because this pot's bigger. This pot is way bigger. And I'm not going to drain the juices out because that's what gives it even a better flavor. That's not grease, that's juices. Juices, people, juices. I'm about to attempt to do this. Hold on, I gotta get something to pick. Oh, duh. Never mind. Got these. And I tell y'all, my back is kicking my behind. My back is kicking my behind. Can y'all see that? You see that? Look at that. Look at that magic. Food porn. Food porn. Okay. And you want to keep stirring because, trust me, you do not want burnt Alfredo sauce. Look at there. Look at there. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Look at there. Like I said, cooking is my therapy. And I put a lot of love into it. A lot of love. Okay, you guys. Now I'm about to put a lot of love into this fettuccine. Gonna put this into fettuccine. Turn this down on low because I do not want my stuff to burn until I drain this fettuccine. Okay. You know, a lot of people like to rinse off all the starch, but I'm a fat girl. I leave a little bit of it on because, like I said, I also have garlic on the noodles. So I do not want to lose that. A little water dripping. Look at there, look at there. And I'm about to clean my kitchen now because it's driving me batty. Okay. Fettuccine noodles are in. Like I said, ain't nothing like homemade. Nothing. Look at there. Look at that chicken. You want to keep stirring and mixing it well. Look at there. I'm going to sprinkle it with a little more parsley, so it could just sit here and look pretty in the pot. Pretty in the pot. Because I'm not going to eat right now. I'm going to be eating when my husband comes home. And y'all already knew. Y'all already knew. Y'all already knew this was coming. Trust me, you guys. If you've not had smoked paprika on your macaroni and cheese or in any pasta dish, I don't know what y'all missing. Thanks for tuning in. Later.